Hey! Oh shit! Oh, it's for the studio tour thing. Oh, damn, is that today? Forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't really clean up, but yeah, come on in. Yeah, come on in. What do you think of the place, huh? Not too shabby. Only $1,500 a month. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad in this economy. Here, I'll show you to where the magic happens. Watch your step, or don't. I don't really care. Oh shit, did your light go out? Oh no, that's a real shame. I think there's a light around here somewhere. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Welcome to Catching Big Fish Studios. Please, come in. Hi everyone. Welcome. I know this is kind of weird for me to be doing this, but hey, I get asked enough and it's a little nice buffer between the next one coming out. I thought I'd give you guys a look at where the magic happens, the Bucket of Jake studio tour. This is essentially where all my creative happenings are. My YouTube videos, my creative design, anything under the sun where it requires me to think and have any modicum of any creative talent at all happens down here. We're keeping things chill. I really don't have a set script that I'm doing. I'm just kind of going off the top. So sit back, relax, grab a big bucket of popcorn as I show you everything that kind of makes the studio run. I'm a big fan of keeping your space fun, interesting, and unique to you, because when you're in a creative field, having a lot of creative, fun, and goofy shit sprinkled about really helps get the juices flowing when you're coming up with an idea. I was once dubbed the Thingamajig haver by my podcast, the Good Enough Podcast.
The Thingamajig, like...
Bro does have the Thingamajigs.
I will never recover from Thingamajig haver.
And I've taken that to heart, and I've made sure that my entire career is now the Thingamajig haver. So I've made it my mission to make sure that my creative space is always a little bit of a museum. I think one of the YouTubers I really like watching, Van Neistat, was a big proponent of having your creative studio be kind of like a museum. Something where someone can come in and ask you, point to different things like, what's the story behind that? Why is that here? Why is there a flammable gas sign there? Why not, is my answer. Let's start the tour with what you guys see the most when you come to my channel. The iconic background. It's not real brick. It's a background. I don't know why that blows so many people's minds when I tell them that. I've been on interviews and other podcasts where I'll be at this set and they'll be like, wait a second, it's a background? I try to shake up my YouTube videos every year or so. So the previous year was just a white sheet that I spray painted, which got the job done, but kind of blew me out, made me look very overexposed. And this was a cool little alternative thing. It was like almost a graffiti-esque kind of alternative. Like, you got the iconic smiley faces. That's just the only thing I know how to draw. And the channel logo really zoomed in, and I actually fucked up on the lightning bolt, so that is a piece of tape that I cut out. That's not even a spray paint. There actually exists footage of me spray painting the smiley faces on the wall, like the first time I got it. That's actually a fun piece of a Bucket of Jake lore and trivia that I think is fun, that I didn't really tell many people about, but that's why we're doing this video, so we can learn about it. This is the tripod. This is the iconic tripod. So, fun fact about this one, this was my like utility go-to tripod. Like, if I need something, I'll bring it with me, I'll take it out, I'll do whatever. This tripod now, as you can tell from the green X marked on the ground, this is a stationary tripod. We don't bring this tripod anywhere. And the reason we don't do that is because of this. Yeah, I can't bring that anywhere. So it lives here. I want to say my Blue Man Group video where I knocked over the tripod and it got all fucked up. So now it just kind of lives here. This is a tripod that I don't touch. Like, I was having the cameraman maneuver around it. I like jostle and move around it to not fuck with it. So that way I know the exact height, the exact distance, the exact focal length, so that my videos look pretty consistent every single time.
What's up, guys? Everyone's favorite version of me, Pop-Up Jake, is here. I talk about literally every other piece of tech that I use on this channel, except for the most important one. The one I was recording with, and the one I'm recording with now. My camera. My personal weapon of choice is the Canon EOS R. I got it about 2 years ago, and I think it's one of the best things I've ever done for the channel. I know it's not a Sony, and camera people bully me constantly for it, but I like it. I grew up on Canon. I learned my first photography skills on Canon. My first photo camera ever was a Canon, and I just decided to kind of stick with what I knew. And Sony's very expensive. And this by no means was a cheap camera when I bought it, but now it's drastically not as expensive. But at the time I bought it, it was a pretty big boy purchase. I looked at it as an investment. I feel like it has paid itself off. Shooting in log has literally changed my life. That's how you get the beautiful colors and the oversaturated style that I've been known for on this channel. Whereas if you turn it off, this looks gross. I hate this. Ugh. I'm not going to get into the lens that I use because that is actually one of the things I do bring up later on in the video, so stick around for that. But yeah, that's probably the most natural transition I'm going to make in this video. Peace.
So this is the iconic desk setup. This you don't really see too much of. If you're on my Patreon, you could see like little trinkets like hanging out in the background, like my iconic stop sign, stop light, which has now this is the baby version. We have the big brother over there, but we'll get to that later in the video. And we also have the gnome. This was a gift to me. I thought it looked sick and I wanted to incorporate it into my videos, but I never really had a place for it. So it lives back here with my record player. So if you're on my Patreon, you can see when it's widescreen, extended edition, you see the little gnome. But we'll kind of go from left to right on how I kind of set up my studio. So the wall chargers, this is the charging ports. This is where everything gets charged that needs to be charged. Camera batteries. I got a backup phone charger, like other batteries for like B cams, which we'll get to again. SD cards, sticky notes, random shit like that. Weird little pens and doohickeys. And the more we kind of come this way, the weirder the thingamajigs get. This is a button. This is a big off button that I got for a video that never saw the light of day, and I just couldn't be fucked throwing it away because I think it's really fun and neat. Maybe one of these days I'll use it for a video, but not right now. A scanner for a project I was doing. That was for the Metalhead music video. This is my audio interface that I use for like
my podcast.
Because most of the time when I do a video like with this special mic, I know a lot of people ask me what my mic is or like my gear. This is the Audio-Technica AT2020, the same microphone that the Odd Ones Out uses. And you'd think that I'd plug the Audio-Technica AT2020 into my M Audio Air interface, but no, that's actually not the case. I use this handy little contraption that has kind of saved my ass on more times than I can remember. The Zoom H6. This thing is a fucking unit. This thing is battery powered. So you can take this out, like I can literally unplug everything and just take it with me. And it's literally a little handy video recorder that's a bit of a powerhouse. All my street interviews, all my videos get filmed on this because I really can't be fucked open in Audacity, and it's just easier to pop this thing open and get the ball moving. The more you look, the more handy contraptions you see. Microphone for the podcast that I do, Good Enough Podcast. I got a GameCube controller here for sometimes I like to game in my spare time. Not often, but sometimes I do. I got my MIDI controller for like when I play with music or scores for videos. Again, more little knickknacks. Some fake cigarettes that I've used in some videos and photo shoots. I got the Iconica Barber Beats cassette tape that I use. This is the only one that exists. Not even real music on it. I just designed it myself. And now this is where kind of the fun stuff happens. The music heads are. This is my turntable setup. I got the Iconic, like I mentioned in my vinyl video. The Audio-Technica LP120, actually. It's a unit. I've had it since, I think, COVID. So this is going 4, almost 5 years strong. As I actually lied, it's not 5 years strong. It's broken right now. Sometimes, because I have 2 speakers, I got one over here, one over there, so that way I got the perfect splice hitting me at one point. But sometimes it doesn't come out of one speaker or the other speaker. I know the vinyl people are going to hate me for this, but I literally like smack it to get it to work. So sometimes that happens. It still plays, it still gets the job done, but in a perfect world, I'd get it fixed. So if anyone knows, or maybe a new record player, if anyone knows any good recommendations for another record player, because I'm spoiled by the AT2020, the USB too, because I could plug it in and record the shit. Please tell me about that. This is essentially my YouTube machine. Fun fact, this PC is actually the first thing I ever bought with a YouTube check. That's a fun, true fact about myself. It fucking sucks. I literally went to Best Buy and I was like, yo, what's the cheapest shit you got? And they were like, dog, we got something for you. and they gave me this hunk of junk. But I don't have the heart to throw it away. A lot of the time, though, when I have my camera, which is being used right now, set up on the tripod that we mentioned earlier, I'll hook it up to the computer to almost have like a live monitoring system, so that way I can see myself on the big computer screen without looking at the little tiny lens on the camera. So kind of rocks. I'm a big fan. The iconic A Bucket of J cutting board that is being used in many more videos. The V1 cutting board is actually back here. Recently got retired because it's just kind of a little shitty, and I'm not huge on blue. I use green way more on the channel anyway. Use this thing as like a little placemat stuff, sometimes as a mouse pad if I'm getting crazy, but this is usually where I would sit and I would edit. This is my computer. I think it's a fucking Dell XPS something. It's on screen now. It's whatever that is. But that's what I use to edit my videos. I've had it for a few years and it's going strong. I honestly have no complaints for it. Maybe just space and speed, but everyone wants better space and speed. You have the iconic hangers here. We have my very professional grade Sennheiser HD 650 headphones, gifted to me by DMS. That video of me reviewing the very expensive vinyl record player, that was real. He actually gave me these, and that's the same place I got the amplifier. Both were gifted to me by Doug, and I use these things constantly. I love this shit. Every time a new album that I'm really excited to drop comes out, I always listen to them on this because they sound fucking incredible. But I can't really wear these on like a subway or nothing. But for at-home listening, these things are fucking peak. If you want to shell out the money, these things rock. I highly recommend, and thank you, Doug, for that. And last trinket of the desk that I wanted to mention. If you're a patron of mine, you'll recognize this. This is the bin bag. It's a series on my Patreon where I review all the records in my collection. And what I do is if anyone's curious, on every single one of these little pieces of paper is the name of a vinyl record that I own. So like all in here, what's this one? Some rap songs by Earl Sweatshirt, for example. I'll pick them out and then I'll record the video about that record. This is a big piece of the A Bucket of Jake puzzle. Every time someone asks me, Jake, how do you get the weird analog, like shitty video style that you use? Well, I'll introduce you to the Geratron 5000. This is the TV that my dad had in his bathroom when he would shit, and he didn't want it anymore, and I was like, I got the perfect home for it in my studio. This plugs into the computer plugs into this, and this plugs into my computer, so that way I could get cool little B-roll of different footage and stuff that I want to make lo-fi and digitized. I'll just set up my camera right in front of it and just record it. So if anyone's curious about how I get that like kind of old vintage, like not necessarily VHS, but like very pixelated and lo-fi graphics, I literally film a TV, bro. Again, when I was talking about my studio kind of acting as a museum, this portion of the tour is where we get more museum-esque. This is the table that I used to interview people in Washington Square Park. This is the exact same table because I need tables and I didn't want to give it back. So need a table. Shout out to Shitty Rig. Shout out to Jackson Burns. This is the plank of wood that I strapped the vinyl record to that I used in the opening sequence of my vinyl record video because I needed something sturdy to grip the clamp onto. So clamp went here. Vinyl wasn't strong enough, so it went on this piece of wood, and I was walking around New York City with it. So shout out to that. No cool story behind this. I just thought it was badass, honestly. I saw this at an antique store and I was like, oh, this is kind of fucking sweet. It's the shit that they strap to trucks when they have like hazardous or dangerous materials on it. And the coolest part about it is you could switch it depending on your mood. So let's say I'm feisty and I'm fiery. It's flammable gas type of day. But let's say I'm a little, sad, or I'm not really vibing with it. I'm an oxidizer or something. Or if I'm really chill and neutral, it's like a non-flammable gas type of day. So stupid, but dude, I saw this and I was losing money not owning it, straight up. But again, it's one of those things where you bring someone down here and it's more of a museum. It has like this creative spirit about it. Like, it's fucking weird. Why do I own it? Because fuck you, that's why. This would technically be the sponsored segment of the video, but don't skip because this is actually a very important part of my studio. Is the merch I do, catchingbigfish.store. It's the channel merch. Maybe a misconception about the merch is it's like direct to consumer Redbubble shit, like printer paper stuff. No, like this is the inventory. All this is the merch. Like, I literally have it, I package it, I design it, print it, package it, and ship it all from my little studio. I even do inventory. That is inventory. That's all the inventory I got. Companies pay millions for good inventory. And all they need is that. Fucking chumps is what I what I call them. When I mention catchingbigfish.store, a lot of people don't really know what I'm talking about, or if they do, they're like, oh, I didn't know you had merch. But it's actually a small passion of mine, is designing, shipping, and printing shirts. So, you know, this is technically a sponsored segment because I'm like, oh, go buy the shirts, but like also I do this myself. These are the hats, bro. This is the shit I'm wearing. Oh, yo, I'm wearing it. I didn't even think about that. That was product placement, dummies. Also, this is where the CDs are. This is Prepare Myself to Deal with a Miracle, my album that's coming out October 4th. Actually, the cameraman gets a copy. You want one? Let's pretend he caught it. This is actually the first YouTube video that I'm announcing this, but the new merch, like I was referencing the hat. You guys don't know what the hat is because it's new. It's alive on the shop right now. Drop 2, as a matter of fact. You get the iconic classics here. Not just the iconic hat, but... Ow! All right. I hope that transition looks good, but... The channel logo on long sleeve. Got the logo on it. And on the back, you got a cool little gimmick. Long sleeve pepper. I try not to go for like pure black unless it's the logo shirt, obviously, but like I try to mix it up a little bit, make the colors a little nicer. But this is all to say that it's like merch isn't just like kind of a cash grab for me. It's actually something that I'm really passionate about and really want to make a success. So if you would like to support the channel, fund future drops, and look fresh as hell in your Catching Big Fish store merch, check out the store that I just said, catchingbigfish.store. I actually redid the website too. It looks all nice. I had professional photographers take it. Shout out to Cole and Jackson and all the crew down there. It turned out great. And you know what? I'm feeling fucking generous. Cameraman, should I be generous? Use code STUDIO at checkout at catchingbigfish.store for 10% off your order for the next 72 hours. Now, that was the ad section, so we'll get back to the tour. Come on. The iconic vinyl wall. People ask me so much about it. Yeah, this is pretty much every single vinyl record I own. Fun fact, I got this from my grandma, actually. Oh, I have this thing that I'm not using. I'm like, yo, I got the perfect home for it. It's perfect. Like, look at that. It's like perfect size for records. I used to be kind of a shithead and I would just kind of throw them in there willy-nilly. They're alphabetized now, I know. I also line all my records in bags. I got like some weird ones here and there, like the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man vinyl, because Ghostbusters is my favorite movie of all time. It's supposed to smell like marshmallow, but I got this like post-COVID, so this probably does not. You can give that a smell, cameraman?
Nah.
Yeah, not at all. More museum gimmicks, but this is the record from the vinyl record video about the Bucket of Jake record. I'm actually really fucking proud of this thing. Like, it's a real sticker. Like, the record sucks. I'll scratch it. I don't really give a fuck. But like, the record itself is cool. Like, I printed that label. I designed it. I think it looked cool, and I was really proud of that intro to that video. I think it looked awesome, and I was pretty damn proud of it, actually. This down here, besides the plug to my studio lights over there, this is where I keep most of my CDs. Ooh, it's like opening the crypt from Indiana Jones, man. This does not get much sunlight. Product placement. I thought that this was the CD drawer. This is kind of just like the junk drawer, kind of. Hey, more things from the video. The My Favorite Album covers. The little forensic file gimmick that I got going on. The Barber Beats video cassette. And these are my 12 and 7-inch vinyl records, like my little collection down here, because I feel like they'd get lost if I put them up here. And this is a fun one that some of y'all might freak out about. This is the Death Grips EP, the self-titled EP. It's not real. I made this when I was probably like 17 through like some shitty service, but yeah, I could say I own this and y'all don't, so haha. From the bottom, we go to the top with the camera collection. Most of these are out of commission that I don't really use anymore, but are nice pieces. Like a brownie that I was gifted to on my old job, more vintage cameras. I got like Temu fucking Lego cameras. Another little piece of a Bucket of Jake lore. This is the exact microphone cover and mic flag that I used when I was doing interviews in Washington Square Park. That's cool, that goes hard, right? This is the end of the fun theatrics and collecting. On to the hard shit that you guys came here for, the hard epic stuff. This is the production shelf. Oh boy, where do I start with this? We'll start with the shelf. This was like an industrial thing that came from my aunt, actually. I used to put my records on this thing, and if you notice, there's a little lip right here that is no bueno for putting vinyl records on. So learned that fast, and then shout out to my grandma for giving me that. But this has now turned into my gear heaven. Like, this is where all my recording stuff, everything I would need for a video, photo shoot, or design anything lives here. Down here you get like some little trinkets, a custom AirPods case my coworker made for me, some stickers, like tapes, and my gear bag, actually. Take anything on the road. Like if I do a professional shoot for clients, I'll have it in this. Use this a lot for like, if I'm traveling anywhere that like a normal backpack, that's actually my iconic regular backpack, shout out to my Dickies bag right there. But if it doesn't fit in the Dickies bag or it doesn't feel like it's gonna work, bring the camera bag, because it's sturdy and got on Amazon for hella cheap, so it gets the job done. As you go up the ladder on the gear shelf, you have the microphone area. This is where most of the mics live. If it's not like in use, like my Rhodes, actually. It's my Rode I use for like on-the-go recording, featured in the iconic vinyl record video. And like I mentioned, my Audio-Technica. But this is where some weirder, lesser-known mics are used. For podcast mics, like when I went to do Good Enough Podcast in California, I brought those. I have a shotgun mic. I use this for like more professional stuff. Shotgun mic for the Canon. I got another lapel mic, but that plugs into a XLR out cable, so I can use that for like a professional thing. Like I'd use it for the Zoom, for example. Another gift from DMS. These are my iconic IEMs, my in-ear monitors. I use these a lot. If I'm filming most of the time and I'm having another person interview or interviewing another person, I use those a lot. This is gonna be probably Man on the Street 2.0 mic setup. This is for the Rhodes. Clip them in here and then you can do like a kind of an interview gimmick like this. As we climb Babel's Tower, we have the photography/videography section. This is kind of where all the magic happens. A little King Crimson guy from my the thumbnail to the Patreon version of the album covers video. So he kind of guards my stuff here. My fisheye. I love this fucking thing. That's like probably fucking 15 bucks I ever spent. This thing is filthy, actually. I love it. It's not some fucking Sony attachment. It's like it's a hookup. You just screw it onto the front of your lens and now it's a automatic fisheye lens. Isn't that cool? I want to use this a lot more in videos, and not that many people said that they hated it, so I'm running with it. This is my super zoom lens if I want a really close-up shot. Again, these aren't the fucking most expensive lenses in the world. Like, this is the shit that came with photography cameras, but it gets the job done, so that lives here. And this one, if we're talking about necessities in the fucking A Bucket of Jake system, this is shit that rarely do I film a video without it. Like, this is probably the only video that I'm not filming without this. My nifty 50mm lens. This thing is a fucking beast. I picked this up when I got my camera that we're recording on right now and have been using for years. That it's, again, not crazy. It's just kind of the standard Canon little pancake 50mm, but the thing has pretty decent depth of field. This lens is pivotal to my YouTube. Again, I don't have crazy fucking $1,000 lenses. This thing was probably 150 bucks. You can probably get it for less than 100 on Facebook Marketplace, but this is something that I love and I keep with me, and it's a big part of the setup to this day. I also dabble in some film photography. If you can't tell, I have some point and shoots. I got some film back here that I'll bust out every once in a while. This is actually a roll of expired film from, I think, the 70s, late 70s, later early 70s, but I'm waiting for a real rainy day to shoot with this because it's going to look awesome. Sensor cover, another sensor cover, another fucking fisheye lens, but this is for your iPhone if you want to snap it on. Some batteries for different stuff, lens hoods, a little ND filter for my 50mm lens. I think I use this for the Blue Man Group video. I got a little mist filter, and the mist filter is for my Fujifilm X100F. Yeah, the Elucid Fujifilm series. This is a little John that I got, I think, around Christmas time, maybe 2 years ago. But I got this on Facebook Marketplace for literally a steal. Like, I literally robbed the guy who was selling this. Not even a joke. This was before the X6 came out, so this was like the second best if you couldn't get a V. I just found this on Facebook Marketplace, and this guy was selling it for like 700 bucks. So now I own this. This thing is awesome B-roll camera. Like, I use this all the time just for like fun outings with friends. Say cheese. This is probably way cheaper now that the 6 has come out, so I recommend it. It gets the job done. If you're, I don't really love the film emulations, so I'm not too pressed about not having a classic chrome or whatever the fuck. So it gets the job done for me. Some more trinkets and gizmos. We have, I was alluding to the baby brother of this. This is the big brother. This is the big stoplight. A cool record neon sign that my ex gifted me. I got a little personal copy of my album that's gonna live there now. These are the fake Blue Man Group tickets that I made up for the Blue Man Group video. Is it here actually? Oh, it is. Yeah. So here's some real insight. I love putting little Easter eggs in here. Like, this is not a real ticket. It says ticket fucker. So this is the shipping label I know you got scared, cameraman.
Yeah, I was like...
This is a fake address. This is a fake shipping label. I printed this myself. This doesn't exist. Well, it does exist. This is the Ghostbusters firehouse in New York City. This was in my first time listening to Merzbow video, and I had a few people message me. It's like, dude, you left the shipping label on your thing, and I was like, it's fake. It's not real. Never Swim Alone Records out of Detroit, Michigan. The people that sent me this. No, I made this. I made this logo. This doesn't exist. This is the address to Jack White's upholstery business in Detroit, Michigan. This QR code, if you scan it, it goes to catchingbigfish.store. It's not real. These cool little fun Easter eggs, I live for this stuff. So like if you see like something weird and out of the like beaten path of my videos, chances are I put it there to fuck with you. So it worked. Weird rant, but we'll get back to it. Now we get to the cameras that are pretty darn important to me that I use pretty frequently. This is my go-to film camera. I got this recently, a Canon Sure Shot. Gets the job done. It's a nice small pocket camera. Love this thing. Excited. I actually, have a roll in here that I never shot. You need film photography. It's nice. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see some cool film photography. This is a new addition to my kind of system, my Handycam setup. This is, again, my dad's old vintage taped Handycam that is actually kind of broken now that I'm thinking about it. I've had this for a while, but it's taken me so long to crack the code to get this to actually be usable. It's a taped thing. I would have to buy tape and then digitize it, and that's fucking lame, so check this shit out. Special ordered cable in, plug this end into this, plug the RCA Johns into this little device. This is an iRecorder. Plug it in. I got Velcro, so it attaches to the bottom. Plug everything in ever so slightly, and then you could record tapeless on a tape recorder. I used it most recently in my last video, the uncomfortable music video with specifically Andre 3000's part. I was using that and I had some like cool Handycam footage. And friend of the show, Luke Stone, his music video for the third funeral was shot entirely on this thing. So you're welcome, Luke. I like the way it looks. Super proud of myself that I finally cracked the code. This thing took so fucking long. Batteries discontinued. Cables don't exist anymore. Creative opportunities and weird shots in my head that I'm just super excited to use. JPEG Mafia style. No rhyme or reason to these things. Literally, this is the Fishtank from the All the Things You Broke music video. Another thing that I should have returned, but I like keeping shit that I use. So all my assorted wires and shit, V1 fucking audio interface, chargers, like a bunch of shit, a fucking clapper.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's stuff that I would need more often than I could justify throwing it into like a fucking shipping crate or something. So it kind of lives in this shitty little fish tank. So it's a pain in the ass, but if I'm like, oh, I need a very specific thing for this shot, then it lives in here. I had the posters that was hanging around New York City. Are you prepared to deal with a miracle? Preparing myself to deal with a miracle, out October 4th. And this is my vinyl record for it. I don't want to go too much into it. I do have vinyl records of my studio albums at least. There it is. And I want to get one of those frames where like vinyl record and the vinyls in it simultaneously. This one got retired. This was in the background of a lot of my videos, but it has been retired because a new record is around the corner. Very proud of this one. If you want to go stream that, I would appreciate that. Out October 4th. Besides some like assorted like lights and stuff, like these are the studio lights I use to record myself. You saw them littered around the studio space. My iconic mini tripod. This is the tripod that is allowed to leave the studio. But besides that, I think that's pretty much the tour. But there's one more thing. I know it sucks. I know it's shitty. But this is probably my favorite thing that I own. This is I don't even know what this is. This is a JVC Everio. Like, that's not a company. That's not a name that exists. But the reason this is my favorite thing is because this was my first video camera. This is the first thing I ever got that was mine, that I bought, that I was like, this is how I'm gonna make videos. This is how I'm gonna be creative. This is how I'm gonna express myself. And I found it recently and I was like, oh, yes, dude. I'm like, this rocks. That's why it is very prominent on my shelf, because I'm proud of this thing. This was like the first thing that got me into making videos. It doesn't even work, the batteries. You can even probably see over here, there are some batteries that I was trying to get to bring this thing back to life, but to no avail. One day, hopefully one day soon, I'll get this thing working again and I could get really back to the distant past with some analog shit. But one of my favorite things I have in my studio, because it's a nice representation of me being like, don't forget what you got into this for. You know, having fun, making cool shit, and just like, you know, we've come a long way since this fucking thing, dude. For real. Long way. Damn, I'm real great at leaving stuff off on a sappy note. That was the studio tour. Thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a little insight about how I decorate my creative environment around me. New videos on the way. I am currently writing a new video that should release in a couple weeks as of this going up. If you want to support the channel, catchingbigfish.store. The first drop 2, is officially live right now if you want to support the channel and give me a reason to pack up those damn shirts. Real excited for that to drop, actually. I really am. I've been working real hard on that. I need a water so bad. Until the next studio tour. There will not be another studio until background change and until I can actually say I'm in a studio. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Oh, shit. Did my lights go out now? Damn, the HOA said 37 cents would last at least half an hour. Bunch of fucking liars.